Unit 2, also Chapter 2, with a little bit of information we're pulling in from Chapter 1. And we're going to take a couple ideas from Chapter 3, and we're going to bring those together so that Chapter 2 becomes Unit 2. So it makes sense. It's not just something dull and boring and that you want to get out of as quick as possible. Unit 2 is all about logic. So we're going to refer to our statements. They're always going to be in the form if-then. If it's not, we put it in that form so we know where our hypothesis is and what our conclusion is. So we're learning in this unit how to support my conclusion, or we're going to negate the conclusion. So we're going to show that it's true, or we're going to show that it's false. So in geometry at this point, we're going to say state whether something's true or false. So I'm looking for true and false. So I can read a statement and say yes, it's true, or no, it's not. I can read two statements and say yes, they go together, or no, they don't. I can look at three different statements and see if I can draw them together. Like, is this middle statement going to hold two things together? Also, we're going to look at properties of real numbers. So we've got properties start showing up. Okay. We look at the real number properties, and then we say, okay, what with the real numbers can we do with segments, angles, triangles, etc.? Even circles later when we get there. So properties, we have addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Then we have what we call reflexive, symmetric, and transitive. And they go with equality and congruence. So our properties are equality and congruence. So I'm either going to be using an equal sign or a congruent sign with them. How's my other? Okay. We are also going to look at complementary and supplementary. Those are angles. There's something else I just thought of. Oh, using midpoints and distance and working backwards. Okay. And that's what we do in geometry is we look at a conclusion and we work our way backward. So we start with what we're given. So we have it what we are. That's your if statement. And then we look at our conclusion, the then, and we say, okay, how do I know that I can get here? Or what tells me that I can't have this as a result? So our first proof that we ever work with next week will be an algebraic equation. And working with algebra, we're going to relate it to a midpoint. So we start with a midpoint and we work backward to see where we came from. So if I know this is the midpoint, what was my beginning point? Also working with midpoint to show that two segments are congruent or equal. So this is where I told you distance, we're going to have two letters next to each other. If it's a segment, it's going to have a bar over it because we're going to be flipping between the two, going from distance to a segment back to distance. You'll see that next week. And this is just your introduction. Monday, we're going to review your exercise from today. You will get a little introduction to what the if-then statement is. And there's a fly flying around. Somebody's coming to sweat it for me. And what to say when things are true and false. Everything down here we're going to do later in the week. So Monday, how to do if-then statements with converse, inverses, and contrapositives. And how to determine if, can I state that both are true or both false? Okay, it doesn't matter if the statement is true or false, the total thing. So one other very important thing for your, review the exercise from today. Learn how to write if-then statements, inverses, converses, and contrapositives, and which one's which. And then you get to take a pre-exercise for this unit. And remember, there's no stress on this pre-exercise. You just answer what you know and what you think something is, because that's the purpose of the flipped classroom, is to see the growth. That's what we're looking for. And then if there's anything with IXL, I would look into this. You will get IXL on this. I will give you a couple. I just have to find out which concepts I want you to have. But if you're able to this weekend, work on a concept in IXL. Your SMART score that we're looking for is 70 to 80. Once you've reached 80, you can stop with the skill. If you get 100, great, move on. You don't have to review. I don't even know if I'll let you do it anymore. All right, see y'all on Monday. And that was almost 6 minutes. I think I did good.